Welcome to Dreams Inspire Reality Podcast with Tara Darnley, a podcast for creatives looking to turn their dreams into reality with practical strategic steps from everyday people and entrepreneurs who are living their best lives possible.
Hello, dreamers. I'm so excited about today's podcast. I have a special guest today, Kim, who is a co-founder of CurlMix, the first DIY brand for curly hair. Her innovative take on the do-it-yourself hair product has won her praise from top industry publications such as Refinery 29, Essence Magazine, Ebony, just to name a few. And she's been killing it in the hair industry. Welcome, Kim. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing really, really well.
And I know, Kim, you just turned a new mom, so congratulations.
Well, thank you.
How has that been?
It's been awesome. You know, I was freaked out about having a baby at first because I'm an entrepreneur and I know that my time is it's all over the place. I was like, I don't really have time to be a mom. But it made me on my P's and Q's, and it's been an amazing experience. Truly inexplicable, honestly. So I love him so much. He's the sweetest thing.
I know. They just completely come in your life, changes everything.
Right.
But it's such a blessing. I love that. So we're going to dive right into it. The first question I normally ask my entrepreneurs or my guests is, are you living your dream life?
You know, this is funny. I am living a version of my dream life. So, growing up, like on the south side of Chicago, single parent home, 5 brothers and sisters. We didn't have any money growing up. And so I always dreamed of like living in a big house and, maybe having a family one day, but that wasn't necessarily a requirement. It was just, making money, big house. And eventually being an entrepreneur. And so in some respects, I'm doing all those things and I'm very happy about it. And so, yes, but is my health where I want it to be? Not exactly. No, I want to be healthier. And I want to travel more. Me and my husband, we would travel every 3 to 4 months. And since we had a baby, since I was pregnant, we weren't really going anywhere. So we haven't been anywhere, I think, since May last year. And for most people, they're like, well, you went to Iceland last May. Like, that's, you have plenty. And you went to Tanzania in February. But for me, that's like so long ago. So I would say I'm living my old dream, not my new dream.
I like that. I'm living my old dream. So we're going to get back to the new dream. I love that. And I love the concept of your company. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's completely different. It's completely new. And I remember seeing you for the first time and you just explaining the concept, DIY your own products. And I was just like, oh, this is cool because everyone's hair texture is different. What might work for some, might not necessarily work for the other. So I thought that was so cool. So can you share more about your company? What inspired it? How did you get started?
Absolutely. So CurlMix is the do-it-yourself brand for curly hair. Basically, we make it easy for you to make homemade hair products, whether that be through a box or whether it's us pre-making the product for you. So have you ever watched a video on YouTube and wanted to make the recipe that you saw, but you didn't have the materials and you didn't want to spend, hours in your kitchen for a product you might not even like? Well, we make that easier. We provide you with a box that's 5 to 7 all-natural ingredients and the materials you need to make sure you hair products without breaking the bank, and we shrink a 4-hour job down to just 15 minutes. And if you're like, girl, that's just too much for me, I don't want to make anything, but I still want high quality ingredients, we'll pre-make some of our best-selling boxes for you. So that's what we do.
I love that. And the subscription box service alone is a huge thing right now. There's tons of subscription box services on the market. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? Even though your concept is super unique, what do you think really sets you guys apart from everyone else?
What's interesting, and it's only a recent development, is that we no longer do a new box every month. You can subscribe to individual kits we have online, but we're not creating. You don't sign up and then we charge you $25 every month for a box. You don't know what's coming. But I think so. That's what makes us different because we're not technically a subscription box company anymore. We're just more of a do-it-yourself brand. But I think what makes us different is that it's incredibly customizable. Like, you can buy a discount box that has lots of different products in it, but you have no control of the ingredients in it. Not a single, either you're going to use it or you're not. And for our products, we teach you how to make it. There's an online video tutorial and an instruction card. And if you are allergic to vegetable glycerin, you don't have to use it. You know, you can just toss it out. If you are allergic to a thickener or a guar gum or a xanthan gum, you can just toss it out. You can always adjust your recipes. And that's something you just can't do, you know, anywhere else. And so we try to give you that customization or that control over the ingredients in your own hair products.
I truly appreciate that because I cannot commit to a monthly box. I'll rather just, you know, buy my products. And especially if you don't like something and just trying something new every month, that's a huge commitment. How did you go about testing the market for your product, and how were you able to identify your target audience? That seems to be a huge issue for people now, you know, starting a business, trying to find your target audience, who, you know, who their ideal customer is. How were you able to do that?
You get people to pay for your product before it's created. And I know people are like, that sounds crazy. I don't even have anything. But what you get, this is how you know you get a lesson in sales real quick. So basically, you try to come up with a picture or a demo or the minimal viable product, kind of MVP, to show people and say, hey, this is what I have. This is what I'm selling. And then they say, you know what? I want that. I'm going to pre-order it. And, you know, pre-orders can be, you know, as short as a day or as long as a few months, you know, and that once you get the money for that thing, that'll help you purchase the materials you need to actually produce and deliver their product. And so that's one of the ways I always recommend it, because if people won't pay for it, they don't want it, right? You're not solving a big enough problem. And if you can't get anybody to sell it, anyone to buy it, then that's a huge red flag to me. It's like, okay, don't do this, you know? And that's what I did with CurlMix. When we first started, I sold one box to my cousin. And I was like, okay, nobody wants this, not going to do this. And my husband's like, no, Kim, if Airbnb can relaunch 7 times, surely CurlMix can relaunch twice. So I went back to the drawing board, reached out to some people, did a bunch of different things. And I didn't have a product yet. I basically bought like a box from, I think it was brandingcolor.com, and you could just get like minimum quantity boxes for like 25 boxes for $1.50 a piece, and they would print out whatever you want with like photo print on the box. And I was like, okay, cool, I have my own custom box. All right, let me go find some ingredients. And I got some mason jars from Target. I went online and bought some ingredients. I bought some other ingredients from Target, packaged it up in a little box, and I was like, okay, let me give it to this vlogger. She's gonna do a video tutorial. And that was the first box. I had not ordered any materials for that first box, you know, outside of my little sample that I gave to the vlogger to do the tutorial. And I did have to pay her. So I was betting on myself, you know, that I could, you know, get some sales. And then I basically launched and the first day we made 100 boxes. We sold 100 boxes. So it was like, you know, it was validation, but they were pre-orders. And then after I sold the 100 boxes, I went and bought the materials to produce and had 30 days to get the boxes out.
I love that. So you literally DIY your business to start up.
Yes.
I love that. But let's get to the technical side, because that does kind of sound like a nightmare for sourcing. Like, I cannot imagine you going to Target every time you needed a mason jar or, you know, just in a small amount of packaging. So how were you able to source your products yet remaining profitable?
Well, in the beginning, you'd be surprised. Okay, you could order like 30 cases of mason jars from Walmart. You just go online and do it, and they'll send it to the store, and it's like $10 for a case of 12. So I was like, okay, this is worth it, or $9 and some change for a case of 12. So that was what I did that for that. As far as the other ingredients, there are lots of online retailers that sell things in bulk. And we were just repackaging everything. So, you know, it was just a matter of like scouring the interwebs for other companies, verifying where their ingredients are coming from, looking at their reviews and their credibility statements. It was just literally an all-night, all-out research project. And most people don't really want to like spend the time to sit there and do that. But that's what I was offering people. My job was to make it easier for you to make products at home, which means that you didn't have to go out and search and do all the research. I was doing it for you. And so it was a little bit of a nightmare, but after like the first 6 months, that wasn't even the hard part. The hard part was creating a new box every month. That was hard because you had to source all the materials every month. You had to, you know, even though you only get 5 to 7 all natural ingredients, you touch each ingredient at least 3 times, because you have to put the ingredient in the package, you have to put the sticker on there, you have to close it, and then you have to pack it in the box. I'm sorry, so 4. So if you put 7 ingredients in a box, that's 4 times 7. You're touching each thing a total 28 times. So it's like, it's a matter of being efficient. And then, so building that box, still fulfilling orders that are coming in, and making sure you have everything set up for the next month's box, because you're going to need to be able to launch that. And then closing out the previous month's box, anyone who's missing any boxes or didn't get their order or they had missing an item in their box. So it was like that was hard, because you're basically managing 3 boxes at any one time.
Oh, that just gave me a whole level of respect for subscription-based businesses. Let's talk about funding, because you have a very interesting story in how you were able to fund your business, with your husband, being a part of that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I think it kind of all started. So CurlMix launched, and the reason I think it was a success the second time we launched was because I had experience with my first business, which is the Natural Hair Academy. And essentially it was a social network for curly hair. But if you know anything about niche social networks in tech, we understand that they don't work. And so if you're starting one, don't. You just can't make it big enough to scale. So, niche social networks are not a good idea. But in that time, I had met so many people in the natural hair industry. And so I kind of gained a lot of industry knowledge, which is why my next business ended up being in hair. But with the Natural Hair Academy, when I was starting it, I convinced my husband to go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And he was all against it. He was like, this is a terrible idea, Kim. It's like, no, Tim, this is a great idea. You're going to do it because every time you watch the show, you know all the answers. So he gets him the show. I signed him up, sent him with a plane ticket, and then he ends up winning $100,000 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And so, he took 15 of that and invested in our first business, which meant like buying a camera, which meant, building a website and all this other stuff. And so that to me was my education for CurlMix. And then when it came to funding for CurlMix, I didn't even seek out any additional funding from anyone else for like the first year. We were basically just self-funded. We were profitable, I want to say, by the end of the first year. But then we tried to invest in maybe starting a premier line. And I think I didn't do enough research before we started that line. And so we ended up losing money with that. And so I'm still kind of recouping the loss from that. But I've learned now how to launch a line with my audience. I can't just say, okay, we're going to take these 4 or 5 products and bam, here, buy this line. What we can do is we'll introduce product one at a time. If they like it, they create different fragrances, and then do the next product, different fragrances. And then at the end of that, we'll have a line for them. And so after the first year, I didn't have any funding. We were just kind of profitable. Then we invested in ourselves in an endeavor that was not profitable. But then we found Backstage Capital. And Backstage Capital is a venture capital fund that invests in minority-owned companies. Or companies that have a majority share of minority partners. And they invest about 25 to 50K in startup companies, essentially. And so they were our first and only investment thus far. So they own like 1% of the company.
Wow, thank you for that resource. That's a great resource for you guys listening. So they only own 1% of the company. How has that been so far? Because I know a lot of people are, they want to go big and they want to, grow their company, but they're leery of investors, especially if it's on a bigger platform like the one you mentioned. How has it been for you having an investor, even though it's just 1%?
I think it's very important that I mention that the owner or the general partner of the fund, the managing partner of the fund, her name is Arlen Hamilton. She's a Black woman who's passionate about investing in minority-owned companies and helping us get to the next level. So yes, there's like it's a profitable endeavor for her, but it's also a passion project. So she's not gonna like screw you over. You know what I mean? Like she cares. She really, really cares. And she's developed a team full of wonderful, diverse individuals who also really care and have connections with, lots of folks in Silicon Valley or lots of investors and limited partners and things like that. And so that has changed my business entirely, because before we were a subscription-based company, but after being a part of Backstage Capital and then having one of the limited partners who invested in the fund, kind of talk to us about our business and really get involved, he became an advisor in our business that led us down more of a retail product route than just subscription boxes. Subscription boxes, like, they're cool, but they're not really long term. Like, they can scale, and I think they're trendy, but I definitely think there's a point where they're going to taper off. And, you know, because they don't create anything. They're just almost like a distributor. And, you know, if you're not doing the numbers, so yeah, sometimes the boxes are like $20, but they're only profitable because they're doing 10,000 boxes. The moment they get to 5,000 boxes, it's like, oh crap, where'd all the money go? You know? Or the moment they get to 1,000 boxes, as soon as people just start to unsubscribe. So it's not, to me, a business that we weren't going to get to a multi-million-dollar company doing the boxes, just doing the subscription. And being a part of Backstage Capital helped me realize that, because they kind of had someone to help me pick apart my business, to look at opportunities, to look at things that we were failing at or things that we were struggling with. And it just kind of opened my eyes. So now we're more of a traditional e-commerce business, and I owe that to my connections with Backstage Capital. And they have connections with other accelerators out there, Techstars, 500 Startups, Connects, and then not to mention the portfolio companies, which are a combination of other other minority companies who are killing it. I mean, because there are women, there are LGBTQ, there are Latinos, there are African Americans. It's a group of people. It's a lot of people, and they're killing it. Some of them have raised, you know, millions of dollars for their for their first rounds. They've done amazing. So to even be in contact with those people is worth way more than the 1% that they own of CurlMix, for sure.
I like that you guys were able to innovate, you know, within your business in such a short period, saying, you know, looking in and saying, you know what, maybe the subscription thing in the long run might not pan out. So let's start creating our own products. So I think that's a great lesson for us all to learn from. Let's talk about marketing. Mm-hmm. What has been some of the challenges you're facing marketing your product? Because you could have an amazing product, but if no one knows about that amazing product, no one is going to buy it. So how are you able to market and reach your customers?
The thing that we did that I think sets us apart and makes us really special is that we started doing workshops where we allow people to mix their own products in person with our founders. If you know anything about brick and mortar, you know that it's dying, right? It's dying because Amazon exists, right?
Can you say that one more time?
Brick and mortar is dying because Amazon exists. But what you also will find is that people will pay more or a premium for an in-person experience that they love, right? So you think of like a company that we aspire to be like, it's like a Lush company for your hair. They have, you know, batch handmade products that can be natural and organic, but make you feel pretty, make you feel beautiful. And when you walk into their store, it's an experience. You smell, Lush has a smell. When you walk into a Lush, you smell the store. You can sit down and, you know, try on some of the products. You can't go 2 feet without somebody saying, hi, may I help you? You know, someone's in your face trying to rub some shea butter on you. It's like, man, leave me alone. You know, but and so what we did is kind of create that, but from a CurlMix perspective, which is you get to mix your own products when you come in the door. You get to see all these different ingredients. You get to go to our butter bar and build your custom butter. You go to our oil bar and build your custom hot oil treatment. And so that, I think, we always make more money. We have a higher cart value when we do in-person events than when we sell online. So I think on average, our carts are something like $35, $36 online, but in person, it's like $50. People, you know, they come in, they spend about $50 just because of the experience. They love it. They love talking to someone. So I think that's huge, finding a way to activate your brand. And then something else that we've done online, we've created a lot of content that's educational, and so it gets us a lot of organic traffic. We bring in anywhere from 10 to 15,000 visitors on a monthly basis, and I want to say, well, that's without paid traffic, so that's without any like additional ads or anything like that. But it's a combination of, you know, social media, Google search traffic, and then our email list. We have a little over like 20,000 people on our mailing list. But converting those people, that's another story. So, but we get the traffic. So it's because of our marketing, in-person events, and our online.
I love it. I love it. And let's talk a little bit about automation, because automation has given us a hands-free, innovative approach to systemizing critical business processes to save us time
Mm-hmm.
and, let's face it, make more money. What
Mm-hmm.
are your top 5 automated processes in your business today that's helped you a ton?
I need more of them. I can't say that I am an expert in the automated process, which is what I'm struggling with now. I'm trying to figure out a way to automate the traffic and the conversion so that I can just be making money on my sleep. With the subscription box company, that was way easier. So that's one thing. So if you can have a subscription, do that, and that will automate some money for you. So we allow people to subscribe to individual boxes instead of the new box every month. So that's one thing, subscriptions. 2, of course, email series for your email marketing. So when someone signs up for your list, they shouldn't just get one email. They should get a series of 5. If they open this one, send this next one in 2 days. If they open this one, send this next one in 2 days. It should be automated. I use MailChimp, but I know some people use like Infusionsoft if you're a bit bigger. So we have 1 subscription, 2, what's that, the automation one for the email campaign?
The welcome email?
The welcome email, yes. And then 3, what else is automating my business?
What about social media?
Yes, if you can do that. Yes, if you can automate social media, that's for sure. I don't know if I have 5. 5 is tough. Those are the 3 for sure. I'm just trying to think, is there anything?
3 is fine. 3 is fine.
Well, I have a customer service representative, and so she does all of our emails and replies to everyone. So, it's done by her, so it's not automated, but, she's really good at her job.
I think VAs are becoming quite automated.
Yeah,
I had another entrepreneur mention her personal assistant that did most of her automation. So that seems to be helping us a ton. We're going to go into some fun questions. Who is your favorite entrepreneur at this moment?
I would have to say Gwen of naturalicious.net. She is, I don't know, because she started Naturalicious when I started my first company. And I think she's making like millions of dollars annually now by selling her hair care line. And it's not like she has a 1,000,001 products. She has 2 lines, one for curly hair, one for like wavy hair, one for kinky hair. And I'm just so impressed with everything that she's done over like the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm just like, man, like maybe I should have started a hair care company when she started one. And then I would be close to where she is. So now I'm just trying to mimic her success, trying to do things the way she's doing it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really inspired by Gwen.
Love it. Love it. What was the last book you read?
Content Machine. So basically, we are trying to get a lot of organic traffic. And though organic traffic can be dead, or is said to be dead by some people, for DIYers and homemade products, it is not. So we still get 3,000 to 5,000, organic searches, organic views a month just because of our content. And Content Machine helps you put out content that's easily sourced by SEO and then digestible and interesting and engaging for your audience. And so Content Machine is a really good book for that.
What was your last business win?
Ooh. You know what? I'm going to refer to my vanity journal. I was telling a friend of mine I have a hard time feeling like what I'm doing is like working sometimes. So, it just kind of feels like I'm just doing like whatever, And she recommended that I started keeping a vanity journal because, entrepreneurship is such a combination of highs and lows. It's just it's just a little line chart. Go ahead.
Sure is. No, it sure is. It sure is.
And so I started writing down when I felt like I did something that was a win.
And guys, she literally pulled out her journal for us.
Yes. So I'm going to say that my win, besides working out and eating healthy for the last 2.5 weeks, I'm going to say I met with my advisor for my business for the first time, second time really, but he became an official advisor and I issued out all of the shares of our business, not all of them, but I kept saying so-and-so own this portion of the business, so-and-so own this portion, and I never had any official paperwork for that. And so now I have I'm incorporated with all of my documents, and I had my meeting with my advisor, and then we had a live stream where on Facebook Live, we ended up making, I think, like $400 or $500 from it. So that's a huge win for us.
Love it. And what was your last business failure and the lesson you learned from it?
The last business failure, I would have to say it was when we launched our Premier Collection line. So basically we tested that people wanted our products, right? So we found out that they wanted them. But here's the thing, they wanted them in small quantities. They didn't want them in the big fancy line that I had ordered from abroad with this fancy packaging that was going to cost them like $50, a pop. And they're like, no, we want to spend $30 a pop. And I was like, well, I can't give you this for 30 because I spent this on it. So it was like not validating the fact that they wanted a premium line, just that they wanted pre-made products.
I love it. And lastly, seeing that you are semi-living your dream, when do you see yourself living your full dream, and what steps are you taking to get there?
So my next dream is to be a millionaire before I'm 30. That's my dream. And then I would also like to travel. Me and my husband, I want to kind of either, if not sell everything, just to be living in another country, running my business from there and doing it with my family. So my husband, my little baby, he's only 2 months now, but maybe when he's like a year old or 2 years old, who knows? But that's what I would like to be doing.
I love it. It was a pleasure having you on. You were a wealth of information. Guys, I hope you took much of the nugget that was shared today. Kim, please let our audience know where they can find you.
You can find me at, go to CurlMix.com. We're CurlMix on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're CurlMixers on Pinterest. And if you want to find me personally, my Instagram is Kim and Tim Lewis. So Kim and then A-N-D, and then Tim, my husband's name is Tim, and then Lewis, L-E-W-I-S. But yes, that is how you can find me.
Love it. And guys, that is completed. One amazing episode. Thank you again, Kim, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Welcome.
Dreams inspire reality.
Thanks for listening to the Dreams Inspire Reality podcast. I hope you received some practical steps and tips you can begin implementing and executing today. If you like the show, do me a favor and subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. You can find us online at dreamsinspirereality.com and also across all social media platforms at Dreams Inspire Reality. Let us know how you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, dream big and execute hard. Hey guys, let's give a quick thanks to our sponsor, Dreams Inspire Reality. Are you unsure of the steps needed to turn your dreams into reality? Have you been sitting on that product idea and not sure how to bring it to market? We've successfully launched tons of products and distribute all over the globe. Let us help you get unstuck and take your idea to market with strategic advice and practical steps. Schedule a consultation today at dreamsinspirereality.com.